It's the 2K Sports Pregame Show.
Hello and welcome. Glad you could join us here on 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. Next to me, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. In this game, we'll see the Chicago Bulls against the Detroit Pistons. Looking at the Pistons, they've won 7 of their first 10 games, and you figure they've got to be pretty happy about that. No matter what the talent level is, you're never sure how a team is going to handle those first few weeks. But they've been solid. And Coach Fred Hoiberg, the mayor, a decade in the NBA, then a successful run coaching Iowa State. How do you think he's doing with the Bulls, Kenny?
It's a tough act to follow with Tom Thibodeau departing. That's tough. But, his nice guy demeanor can win the team over. A lot of new players, a lot of new things. It's tough. Good luck.
He's faced some criticism. Players say he needs to coach harder. Takes time. They just got to stick with him.
That'll wrap it up as we take you courtside. Thank you for joining us.
The giant fist of Joe Louis announcing Detroit as the setting of our broadcast today. The Pistons play before the home crowd. And we've got it right here on 2K Sports, live from downtown Detroit. Kevin Harlan here along with analysts Greg Anthony and Steve Smith. And we'll be hearing from DA along the sideline all game long. And the Bulls looking for a positive start here on their road trip. This is a critical time for them. They've got guys, a lot of away games coming up, and it's a stretch that's going to be a very, very difficult test.
And this is what the NBA is all about, competition. That's why rivalries do matter.
They do. It's good for the sport, the TV ratings, the fans, but most of all, when you're a player in this kind of game, the adrenaline rush is incredible.
And with tip-off coming up, we've got just enough time to hear from our good friend David Aldridge on the sideline. D.A., take it away.
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy was the head coach in Miami, Orlando, and now Detroit. Now, he's promised his wife that this is the last stop. He said, I wanted one more shot at it. I've got a great owner, and I should be able to get it turned around in the time that he's given me. If I don't, I don't. But this will be the last one. Kevin?
And D.A., it's obvious that Stan has a real love for the game. Here's hoping he turns that storied franchise around. And these teams have no problem, Steve, going to work on the block, working down low. You can expect, I'm sure, a lot of post-ups as we get this one going.
Yeah, they love to play through the post. They look at basketball like the old school way. If we can draw a double team, that opens it up for wide open shots. But they figure the game is won down there in the trenches, right there on the left and the right block. Here we go.
So Detroit will get the first possession. Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Markkanen and Lopez are together down low. Then there's Grant, and it's Holiday in at the 2.
The defense having to respect Jackson's outside game. That opened up things for him in the inside.
And so it's the Pistons getting on the board first. Lopez, a screen on Jackson. Here's Grant. Andre Drummond grabs the miss. On defense, Chicago, defeated by the Pelicans in their last game. They'll try to put that one behind them.
Yeah, guys, they were forcing it a bit in that one and shot a relatively low percentage because of it.
But you have to give them credit for being aggressive. The problem is they played too much hero ball. You have to be willing to make the extra pass. Robin Lopez, a player who does more for a team than what shows up on the stat sheet. Very effective inside with his ability to contest and fight for rebounds. A tough defender that doesn't need many touches to play his role.
How about the perseverance there, the extra effort on that offensive glass?
And as tough as Robin Lopez is on opponents, he might be even tougher on mascots. Steve, he has a long-standing feud with mascots since he entered the NBA.
Yeah, I've seen him beat, trip, smack, and all-out abuse mascots around this league. He does it all in good and a fun way, and fans love him for it. Everyone has to have their thing, and his is fighting guys in animal suits.
Free throw, good, Drummond.
The 9th overall pick in 2012, Drummond qualifies as an absolute steal at that spot.
There's 47 seconds left in the first quarter. Screen by Grant. There's the screen. There's the dish to Holiday. Clock at 4. Harkinen sets the pick for Holiday. Takes a 3. The shot comes out. Bradley with some nice D. The Pistons have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Good. And Harris gets the assist. Bradley's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Bulls still looking like they're getting going. 8-point game. 16 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Lopez, a screen on Jackson. Here's Grant, past Nwaba. Will it go? No good on that one.
Yeah, you love the solid screen, but what you hate is just the inability to finish.
You can see he's frustrated with that one. Knows it's up to him to make that play.
And so is Detroit in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. Right back after this break. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And what stands out to you from the Pistons so far in this one?
I mean, through one, you have to like the effort, especially on that defensive end.
There are several ways, as you know, to take control of a game. Getting stops is one of them.
Chicago with the ball, trailing here by 8. And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the court for the Pistons, John Lure's out there with Marjanovic. Then there's Tobias Harris. Then there's Ish Smith. And it's Galloway in at the 2-guard spot. Here's Marjanovic. And off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him.
And what it looks like now, guys, their confidence is growing, and so is this lead.
But they can't just sit back and enjoy it. They need to keep up the momentum.
Off the pick. He squares up and sinks it. You know, Stephen, I think of Stan Van Gundy, I think of versatile, because we all know he's the head coach of the Detroit Pistons, but he's in charge of all their personnel moves, too. This guy's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, he does. I mean, when you start to look at it, he's wearing 2 hats. And one thing, he's doing a good job trying to run this organization from a management standpoint and also from a coach's standpoint. So far, so good for Stan.
On the clock. That's a 2 from Smith. A second chance effort. It's deflected.
And how about marketing, using his size and reach on defense? Great timing in terms of being able to get up and block shots. It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with the pass.
Harris setting the pick for Smith. Pass to Marjanovic. Out to Smith. Again, the miss by Smith.
And that was an easy one there, just a missed opportunity.
If you give it to him, he'll take that shot every time down the floor. I'm sure he's kicking himself.
Puts up a 3. Here's Felicio, and he banks in the layup. Felicio's got his first bucket of the night.
A terrific offensive rebounder. Here he is, doing it again.
And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. Pistons lead by 4. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Coach, what made the difference over the course of the first half to get that momentum change in your favor?
Well, we finally buckled down and started getting some stops. We've done a poor job making them feel us. We've got to make it more uncomfortable out there on the floor.
Defensive activity leads to offensive results. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
The first half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. Welcome back.
Ken,
as we break down the action. Detroit finds themselves ahead after 2 quarters. They hold a 4-point lead. Kenny, what do you think?
Well, I think they're feeling the energy of this hometown crowd. Sometimes you get a little complacent and comfortable in your surroundings, but no, they fed off adrenaline in the first half.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Chicago?
Well, they spent a lot of time away from the basket offensively. They need to get in the paint, Ernie. Whether it's running the offense through the low post or on dribble drives, pick and rolls, get into the paint.
And that will conclude our halftime presentation. We take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
We get set to return to the action now as a barge heads down the Detroit River toward Lake Erie. The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. Some players will actually surprise you with their athleticism after they come into the league. They make that next step. Any guys, Smitty, that became more athletic once they arrived that you have seen in the league?
You know, that's interesting. Draymond Green has gotten more athletic. I think he's lost a lot of weight and put himself in a position to play a little bit more above the rim and with his quickness. That's the one guy that sticks out. I will say a guy that I've been marveling about, Kevin, is Jabari Parker. After his injury, it seemed like his athleticism has gone to another level.
Taking a look at the Bulls, Markkanen and Lopez are together down low. Then there's Grant, and it's Nwaba in at the small forward. Now, here's Grant. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Here's Markkanen. Rejected by Harris.
You don't see a lot of block shots from Harris, so enjoy that one.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backboard. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
Harris against Grant. Over Harris. It's good, and the Piston lead is cut down to 4 on the bucket from Grant.
What a shot over the bigger defender. That could prove to be a massive bucket.
That's coming up big in the clutch. Rising up and burying it.
Now here's Bradley. Now the feed to Drummond. And he overdid it there. Too much force, it looked like, on the foul, and he's called for the flagrant.
And Kevin, I got to tell you, he's probably fortunate to just get a flagrant one there. I mean, so much contact. The officials easily could have gone even harder on him.
Greg, I agree. He'd better be on his best behavior from now on. One more flagrant of any variety, and he's out of here. Free throw, no good for Drummond.
And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old-school type center. I mean, eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skilled guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Tolliver comes in for Harris, and Langston Galloway subbed in for Reggie Jackson. Chicago also making some changes. Felicios checked in for Markkanen. Pondexter comes in for David Nwaba, and it's Valentine in for Justin Holiday. Bulls trail by 8. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Screen by Grant, and looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
Yeah, still moving a little bit when he set that screen. He'll argue that he was set, but I really didn't think so.
That's the modern-day NBA. Complain about the call and hope the next one goes your way.
Here's Galloway. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. There's the pick on the wing, Johnson. Here's Drummond. Nice fake, but the layup off the mark. And so it's the Detroit Pistons in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. Looking good at this point, but wanting more. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Fred Hoiberg in a recent huddle with his players.
All right, we got to be strong with the ball now, okay? They're in there slapping, digging anytime we get that thing in the paint.
Fred Hoiberg looking to fight fire with fire, I guess, cautioning his guys about being tougher and together on defense and offense.
Yeah, I mean, when the other team is scratching and clawing, doing what it can to disrupt your rhythm, you need to try to match that energy on the other side.
3 quarters in the books, folks. Glad to have you with us. Welcome back as we get going. Lure and Drummond together down low. Then there's Bradley, and there's Anthony Tolliver, and it's Galloway in at the point guard. That's the 5 on the floor for the Pistons. Now, here's Grant. So the first one drops, and that brings them to within 10. Reggie Jackson's checked in for Langston Galloway. Markkanen, he's checked in for Chicago. And Grant drops them both. Here's Jackson. With some arc, Lopez with the block.
And that is the length of Robin Lopez on display.
It'll go, and the Detroit lead is cut down now to just 7 on the basket from Zipser.
Attacking on the interior, I like that attitude.
On the wing, Jackson. He's covered by Grant. Outside, Bradley. Down to 5 on the shot clock. From past the arc. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. A different look here for Detroit. Tobias Harris comes in for John Lure. And it's Johnson in for Anthony Tolliver. The Bulls also changing it up. David Nwaba checked in for Pondexter. And Justin Holiday subbed in for Paul Zipser. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 7. There's 48 seconds left in the game. And now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Andre Drummond.
And his focus, guys, has been laser sharp, and his touch from the field, flawless. The teammates have worked hard to get him the ball in some good positions, and boy, has he rewarded them with a spectacular shooting performance. Great call to keep running all those sets for him.
He doesn't take over games like this very much, but it's always possible. And when he does, here at home, these fans love it. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Hey, guys. Well, Fred Hoiberg was talking to his team during the timeout. Yes, they're behind right now, but he's still upbeat. He said, guys, we can get back in this game. Stay together out there. All-out effort can win this game. Fellas?
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Outside Holiday drills the three-pointer. And Detroit has possession. And so they foul intentionally. And an intentional foul right there.
Shooting 2.
So the first one drops, and that makes it a 7-point lead.
Here you have the consummate pro. Rare to see Avery Bradley complain or give anything less than 100%.
So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's an 8-point game. Chicago calls timeout. They trail by 8. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Seconds left in the game. It's deflected. Passes to Nwaba. Here's Valentine. And again, Chicago. No good. And so the Pistons take the win. Some good moments throughout this one, but they had the clear advantage down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way they executed on both ends of the floor. Completely under control for the vast majority of the game. And whenever there was a misstep, they just didn't allow it to fester. And that's why they're going to walk away with the win.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. So long, everyone.